Hello everybody, welcome back. Well, isn't this lovely? Went to take off the sprinkler timers. Now this guy's leaking. So now I gotta go and replace this thing. So this is where that hose spigot comes out of the wall. Over here. And this valve looks like crap too, so I might as well replace that. So first thing you wanna do, whenever you're doing any sort of water work, turn off the water on your main. This way you don't accidentally start a leak everywhere. All right, once that's off, we'll go back outside. We'll drain all the water in the system. Cut this pipe around here, and I'll show you what I'm going to replace it with. So now with the main off, we're just going to drain all the water out of the house. This way, when we do cut that pipe, we're not getting any water in the basement. It's all just going to come out here. So let me show you what I'm going to replace this with. Okay, so this is one of those new anti-freeze hose spigots. See, it closes all the way back here instead of in the front over here. Some 1/2-inch pipe. That valve we're going to replace with one of these valves with the little arm on it. Personally, I think they're a little bit better than the knobs. This is one of those the shark bites as well, so we don't have to sweat too much pipe. Stick it on there. That should be good to go. This is for our 90 that we need in there. Also a shark bite. So the only thing we're really gonna have to sweat is this reducer to get it onto here. And then I'm gonna need a few inches of 1/2-inch pipe coming out of this in order to connect it to the rest of the system. Okay, now that hopefully most of the water drained out of the system, when you cut the pipe, there's still gonna be a little left in there. Now, this is a great pipe cutter, but in this case, it's a little too large. So you go with one of these little mini guys. Same concept, you put it on, twist it on, a little bit of Scotch-Brite to clean up the pipe. And this is gonna be the new valve that we're installing. So I don't know if I'll be able to get this in shot. I'll try to do it one-handed, but I'll show you the results. Okay, so this is with the pipe cutter on. We're just gonna go around the pipe, tighten a little bit, go around, and repeat that. Remember, the main water supply is off. So we're draining the outside. Should just be a little bit of whatever's left inside the pipe. Let's see, go around, tighten it up, and we're through. There we go. That's just a little bit of water that's left. So we got our one cut there. I'm gonna do another cut over here on this side. This way I could pull the hose bib out, and we'll be back when I'm putting the shark back on. Okay, we got our pipe cut out. See there, and there. Now, one of the nice things about this pipe cutter, this little reaming tool. If you have any burrs left over, stick it in there, clean that out a little bit. So that pipe looks decently clean, but a little bit of Scotch-Brite, clear it up a little bit more. Remember, we're not sweating it, so it doesn't have to be too crazy. And we got our shark bite. I'll make sure that when you position this, it's in a comfortable position for you to later use the lever. So they should just be pressed on. I like it like that. Push it on. Let me just use 2 hands. Okay, yeah, it needs 2 hands to get pushed on there nice and tight. So it should theoretically work. Moment of truth. Let's turn on the water. And when you're opening your main, you always want to do it slowly. Hear that water filling up the pipes again throughout the house. And it looks like our new valve is holding water. All right, so let's close it off again. Remember, you don't want to work on pipes under pressure. So let's pull out that old hose bib. Okay, so now I could unscrew this old hose bib. That's all rusted to hell with these screws and everything. Just pull it out. From the looks of it, probably gonna have to do a little concrete patching. Maybe open up that hole a little bit more. All right, on to the next step. Okay, so I had to beat out some of that cement in order to be able to access the hole, because where it was a little bit too tight. As you can see, the new hose bib will go in there nicely. Now, I could probably use a couple of bolts going into this wood over here to hold this secure, because I don't even know where the old bolts are. I don't know what the hell they were securing. And this goddamn thing is $45. If you want some screws, screw you. All right, so as you can see, this is the old hose bib. This is that old valve that was going down. So now what I need to do, take the new one, which is a 3/4 pipe, add a reducer, and add some pipe in order to make up the length. So we're looking at roughly, so 22 and a half. This one is at the joint 12 3/4. So I'm gonna cut a little bit of extra pipe just to make sure we're not short. And go from there. So we need 22 and a half. So let's do about there. If I gotta trim it, I gotta trim it. Whatever. The pipe cutter on. Just go around. Give it a little twist to tighten it. And there we go. Like I said, it's always good to deburr your pipe so it doesn't cause any problems with the water flow. Now we gotta get that piece. There we go. Gotta get this in here and sweat it. So we'll just clean up our pipe. Again, just some Scotch-Brite is fine. Nice and clean. So I'll get this ready and I'll show you how to sweat a pipe. So I got the reducer in a vise to make life easier. I have this flux. Hell, I don't even know how old this stuff is. But flux will help. Got our pipe nice and cleaned up. I'm gonna stick it in there all the way as far as it goes. Now we start sweating it. Now you want to make sure the pipe is nice and hot before you put the solder in. So it seeps in all the way around. Now, I'm not a plumber, probably not the nicest job that's ever been done, but I don't know, I think it's not too bad. It should hold the water. We'll see what happens. Now that the pipe is cooled off a little bit, we're going to connect it to the new hose bib. Grab some Teflon tape around it just to make sure that we get a good seal going. Should be good there. Should be clear. Starts to catch. And we're just gonna make sure that this is nice and tight. Should be good. Just gonna cut a piece of pipe for this. Again, I'm gonna cut it a little long because we cut this valve off, we replaced it. And the SharkBites, they take about like 1/2 inch of pipe. So we'll cut another piece at like 21 inches. Again, nothing too exciting here. Just cutting the pipe, twist and turn. Make it a little bit tighter. We'll just clean up the burrs and Scotch-Brite the outside. And again, I cut it a little bit long just so I could fine tune it when I'm downstairs, when I have everything mocked up and everything. Okay, so you see we're back here at the valve. I intentionally made the pipes a little bit too long, just so they're not too short. So let's stick this one in into that shark bite. And then I'm gonna make sure that this is correct outside before I cut anything. And then we'll throw this elbow on there. Okay, so a little bit of overhead work. So I didn't really do any footage. Basically, cut the pipe a little shorter, put it on that 90. So now, moment of truth. Let's see if she leaks. Remember, whenever you're opening up a main, go slow. Should, for the most part, already be pressurized from before. Let's open this valve. Whoa, motherfucker. Okay, we gotta push that guy in a little bit. Okay, we push that in a little bit more. Let's see. Nice and slow. Okay. That's holding. Let's see, any more water coming out of there. Where we sweat the pipe is holding. Let's go check outside. And this is our outside. Hey, look, it works. It drips like that because this is one of those antifreeze ones. So it gets all the water out so it doesn't freeze up inside the pipe. Only thing really left to do, put a couple screws in and just patch this mortar back up. But yeah, that's how you change out a hose bib. Do a whole bunch of other pipe work. Anyway, thanks again. Take care.